Is our amendments to the agenda? Okay, all right. Go on to the consent agenda, which is just the approval of claims. Do I have a motion to approve this consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes, I'd like the minutes to reflect I'll approve all of the claims except the 10,000 for the courthouse inspection. I won't approve that, but the rest of them are fine.
Why, can I ask why you wouldn't want to approve that?
Because I think it's a waste of money, period. That's my,
You think
that's
the
all I'm gonna
information they
say.
provided was a waste?
I do, and that's all. I want it to reflect that, and I'm done talking.
Okay, all right, any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, please vote aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll go on to the resolutions for board consideration. There's only one resolution. Well, you know what? There is no public comment on here. I just noticed that.
Can we go back and add it?
We already approved it.
Posted.
Yeah. Well, the board has the right to do that.
You can let them talk.
Yeah,
But
let's go.
it was originally presented as the works.
Yes, that's why it was, yeah, and we approved the agenda. So would the board entertain a motion to amend the agenda, include public comment?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Okay, so since we have resolution on the agenda, we're open up time for public comment on that resolution. Only, if you have something to say regarding the resolution, please come and state your name and where you're from, and let us know what you're reading.
Where are we at?
Non-public comment.
Oh, okay.
All right, there is no public comment, so we'll go ahead and move on to the resolutions for board consideration. This is approving the donation to ISAC for the Amicus brief before the Supreme Court of the United States. We discussed this at our last meeting. What this is for is to, they want to do a brief because of a lawsuit from the Supreme Court that will take away local control over pipelines and set a dangerous precedent. So the board reached consensus last week that we are interested in doing that, so we are putting forth a resolution to do that. And I'll read it. See, be it hereby, Madison County Board of Supervisors support the home rule and support the Iowa State Association of Counties Amicus Curiae brief, front of the court letter. Be it hereby resolved, the Madison County Board of Supervisors approve a $500 donation in support of ISAC to protect zoning and local control. I'll entertain a motion to approve this such resolution.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries, is passed unanimously. Moving on now to the election canvass, the 2025 city school election. This is the second tier canvass. Kayla?
All right, so we have already certified all of the ballots cast in the whole county. Now at this point, we have to basically compile ballots cast in Madison County with the ballots cast in other counties or jurisdictions that are under our control. So that would be Bennington and then Earlham City School District, because we hold the largest taxable base. So they send us all their stuff from their canvas, and then we put them all together, and then we get the final results. And then they just have to certify the race as a whole. So for the city of Bennington City Council at large, we had 13 votes for Jeff Bussimus, and then 11 for Rick Keeler, 8 for Deanna Bussimus, and then 5 for Denise Michael, 5 for Jasmine Essek Larson. There were 11 scattering for a total of 53 votes, and those 5 listed: Jeff Bussimus, Rick Keeler, Deanna Bussimus, Denise Michael, and Jasmine Essek Larson will be the next Bennington City Council people at large. They serve a term of 2 years. There's only 3, so I'll just read them all and bring back to you. And then for the city of Bennington mayor, Maxine Bussimus got 13 votes. There wasn't any scattering, so we're declaring her to be the winner of mayor for Bennington. She'll serve a term of 2 years. And then for Earlham School Director at large, we have Brandon DeGroff received 159 votes. Casey Henke received 380. Nick Comas received 186, and then Gregory Opseth received 360 69. There were 4 scattering for a total of 1,125 votes, and Casey Henke and Gregory Opsa will be elected to Earlham School Director at Large. They will serve a term of 4 years. The Winterset School Director that was fully certified at the, makeup campus, including the one at Ohio Truro, so this is already certified, but I do have the abstracts for you guys here to sign. We can have them last time.
So we're signing all of these.
Yep, so there's 2 copies of the abstracts, so sign everything in
Just
here.
the top page.
The abstracts have individual pages, and
So
then,
you want all of these?
yes, and then the 2 canvas summaries just have a top page that they sign. And we have a copy of the abstracts that include the other counties if you guys would like to do it. We haven't gotten their originals back yet. The winter certificates in there if you,
What?
the winter certificates in there if you.
Certificate of election, here's Bennington,
It should be there. That's,
Yeah.
that's it.
it's Winterset. So this is all.
Well done.
Cover up.
Just do that.
And I think this is all, no, this is separate. I think there's 2 copies.
Yeah, there's 2 copies of the
Oops.
summaries and the abstracts, and then there's 1 copy of the winter.
So this is.
But
I didn't think I was drinking.
I was worried before the one was gonna get from
I've already had it.
They probably had to sign at least 100 different
Oh,
times.
my goodness.
Okay, so we've done signing notes, what's next? Is that it?
Yep, that was it.
Okay, thank you, Michaela. All right, moving on to other business. These were some of the things we tabled at our last meeting and moved to this meeting. So we'll go ahead and put old business, discuss the public health building sale. We approved the public health building to be sold, so now we have to figure out how we're gonna move the remaining stuff out. We're gonna do the remaining stuff out, and then, of course, the folks that are still in the building. Board of Health had their had their meeting last week. They are gonna assist figuring out, Warren County's gonna assist figuring out regarding public record, not public records, medical records and where to put them and how to store them. Some are probably really old, that can be destroyed. So they are gonna be working on that portion as well as helping figure out what goes where. So regarding furniture and supplies, that kind of stuff. So, what remains then is, in addition to getting everything moved out, is we need to find a place for our VA office and then also for HHS. They come once a week, maybe. They just said they need a desk in an area that they can be the private office, some kind of private office to meet with people. They also said that they needed something that they can access at any time, not just business hours. So wherever we put them, we'll need to have a key if they need to meet with someone in crisis after the courthouse or the annex is closed. So I guess I'll leave it open to how we gotta start talking about.
I met with Thaddeus. Can I kind of talk about what we talked about and Thaddeus weigh in? But we met at the courthouse and we measured some doorways going into, I know Michelle had laid out kind of a rough outline of what this would look like if we basically moved every department in the courthouse on the main floor, and moved the Veterans Affairs into the current auditor's office. And in so doing, we went and actually measured the doorways. The doorways are not wide enough. They're not, the widest doorway going into the election area was just under 35 inches. The doorways though, to get into the space is 31-ish.
31-ish, yeah.
31-ish inches. So then there's also other doorways then to go back what would be their conference room, which is currently, there's a big island in there and all the files for the auditor's office. That doorway would be too narrow as well. So in discussing this with Thaddeus, what we talked about is, we could potentially widen those doorways. That interior door, once you get into the space by the election area, between the election area and auditor's office, he could by right, we could just remove that door. He wouldn't need that door, but it's still too narrow to meet handicap accessibility requirements, which is 34 inches. I know what was discussed as a major component of concern for the veterans is accessibility and being able to get in and out of the courthouse easily. What we talked about is there's currently 4 handicap spots, and there's also 4 veteran spots. We could potentially move a handicap and a veteran spot right by that main center south entrance to get right up to the ramps to go in.
What about putting them in the CICS office?
The veterans?
And
Well,
then
that was
bring the ramp.
that was kind of the first part, the first direction we went, but then we got this updated draft from Michelle, and so that's why I wanted to make sure I was meeting with Thaddeus and we were looking at that. We did come over, I know we've talked about potentially putting them in the zoning, or excuse me, the assessor's office. The concern there is lack of privacy currently. Obviously, we would need to build some walls and get some private offices for them. But with that open area and that open wall between the assessor's office and the recorder's office, what do you do with that space? Do you wall it in, give them private space? Thaddeus wasn't real comfortable with them leaving that center area open. That's a concern as well. But the CICS space, I'm trying to remember, it's been a while since we looked at those doorways. I think those doorways were wider, weren't they? Were they at the CICS space that is
Across
east
from me.
of the supervisor's
I don't
office?
think they were, because we talked about you might have to meet with them in another room in there.
Oh, that was only for the vault, where my office was gonna go, yeah.
The rest of it's big and open.
Yeah, the rest of it met qualifications,
Yeah,
but the only thing in that back office, the vault, where I was gonna put my office, that was not wide enough at all. So I'd have to move out to if that was gonna happen, move out and meet them there.
so, and in that office, we can easily put up walls all the way to the ceiling.
Why would we put, Why would we put up walls when we can just enlarge a door? If you put up walls in there, it's gonna have to be soundproof because I cannot be privy to his conversations.
We can't enlarge the door to the vault because it's metal.
I'm not talking about the vault, I'm talking about in the auditor's office. Seems to me it'd be a lot cheaper enlarging that door, those doors, instead of putting up walls.
Oh, on the doors that we added in,
Yeah.
those are
Yes.
just temporary, those aren't part of the building.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're moving that door, sure, that'd be cheaper.
Well,
Where the
we also
hallway
have to-
is,
Yeah.
where the window is,
And
that
just-
doorway, and then the office, or
Yeah,
your office needs to be widened too.
And then there's also the hallway too. Did you measure the hallway?
Yeah, but you could move that wall in a little.
So we keep in mind that there's not just the cost for walls, there's a cost to move an entire courthouse. So you're not talking about just walls, you're talking about the soft costs of having people come out and reprogram phones, move equipment, move furniture. I don't wanna rely on our custodial staff to do that, so that means we'd have to hire somebody. It would also delay the sale of the public health building significantly.
Can I interject? We're working on the pricing for everything you just mentioned. Chip is working on that. Are you aware of that?
On what? I wasn't aware of that, on what?
Well, it's because it has to do with the courthouse and this project. So we've got a meeting with Tom with Solutions about telephones, and I mean, put them wherever you want. I'm just trying to offer more affordable solutions to this. The other thing about building walls to ceilings, what's your return on your HVAC? I mean, how are you going to heat and cool these areas who were never intended to be wild returns, is my point. And I know you're an expert in that. But so I wanted you to know that we've got to call into the movers company, because again, our staff cannot accommodate this request. So it's in the works. I mean,
So I'm trying to understand how you're getting quotes when we don't know what you're quoting yet.
well,
I don't know
I'm
what
getting
people are
quotes
quoting.
for no cost at all, just to see about that plan, or whether you guys move or you don't move. You know, whether HR moves or you guys stay where you're at. So I'm getting quotes on just from our IT provider what it's going to take, because we're under contract and we pay them $89,000 a year, and if it's going to be additional, maybe
It's a little less than
that.
70 something.
But the point is, it may or may not cost us extra, depending upon where we are. So to use that's just all I'm saying. That I want you to know that I didn't just submit that with no thought. I just submitted it with, hey, this is the direction we could go, and I'm very concerned about building offices and walls.
I think
That's my concern.
it's more efficient, just one second, Joan, and I'll defer to you. It's more efficient if we can all agree on what options we want to pursue and then get quotes for that. But as it stands now, I mean, that's a lot of different quotes for a lot of different options. I think we kind of.
We haven't approved anything yet.
Have you guys gotten quotes for I mean, we've been listening to this for about 3 months now, what to do. And are we anywhere down the road on quotes about, what it would take? 'Cause shouldn't the cost of the plan be factored into the plan that we choose? That's my point.
Sure, the total cost should be included in
So
that.
that building a wall cost still involves IT and phones. So before, you can't really make up your mind until you know what each alternative is going to cost. That's the way I approach
Right.
world.
Well, I think what we need to do though first is, we have open office space right now, and we can move Thaddeus and Joan and HHS right now into the CICS building, with the idea that this is probably not gonna be the permanent one, because what I would like to do is evaluate the efficiency. If we're gonna be doing this, why not do both of our county buildings? Are we best utilizing all our space, or can it be done more efficiently? And moving stuff around like this, while, I think it's a good idea, I think it's maybe, short-sighted. I think we should actually do the work that's needed to look at all of our space. Are we using it most efficiently? Is the assessor's office best in this building? Maybe it's not. Is it better for the treasurer and the auditor to be in the same building? I think it is, because you guys work so closely together.
But I do not see the courthouse as being conducive to a DOT.
No, and I know that, so we can, maybe you flip-flop and the auditor comes into this building and other people move back into the courthouse. Because you guys see more of the public than the other offices do. So that's something I'd like to think about more long-term. And once the public health building is sold, we'll have funds to be a little bit more proactive and rather than reactive. I don't wanna be reactive.
No, I
wanna
didn't think
make
that
sure-
was reactive.
No, right, we're doing this because we're gonna be selling the building. I'm probably using the wrong words, I apologize. It's reactive in the sense that we need to find a place for our employees, and this is one option. I'm thinking bigger, why don't we just look at everything? Because I really think,
And I just think if it's not broken, why are we fixing it?
I'm not saying it's broken, I'm just saying we have an opportunity to be more efficient with our buildings and our employees, and I'd like to look at that, because I see, Kylie walking over here, you're coming over here. Wouldn't it be great if you guys are in the same building?
Just out of curiosity, is there anywhere in the annex that is like actually able to securely hold all of the election materials?
Election equipment.
Well, because we have the election equipment that's pretty much overtaking the entire IT office, which is,
We have quite a bit of
Very
room in
large.
the IT closet over here.
It has to be
Okay.
remained locked at all times.
Yes,
we
it
have to
is.
remain locked at all times, we can't have anything else in there because we can't have other people going in and out there. And then we also have an entire other room in the courthouse basement that we have built in election stuff that is like our retention.
Our footprint is
area.
pretty large.
And we
Right.
have
Well, that room is very
medical file
large.
cabinets, we have another whole area and we have two other areas in the basement with election equipment in it too.
And that's a good point, I'd like to centralize all that rather than having it all different places. This room over here is quite large, we could build a cage just for your equipment around it. I don't want, it goes all the way back here,
Well,
it's
there's
quite
just-
large.
It's not just the equipment, there's a lot of like the documents and physical things that are not supposed to just be
And then you're gonna have to
accessed and
get
have
it
people
out of
walking in
here,
and out.
get it out, take it up to the elevator and get it outside. That's way harder than you're doing now.
And there's the issue of we have to have everything where it's retained for past elections, we have to hold it for so long and have to have documentation of where everything is stored. And I don't know if we're allowed to change that or move them to certify those to Secretary of State.
So again, thinking more long-term, I'd like to evaluate all our buildings if we're using the whole space efficiently. And what we would do is interview each, if we were to have somebody who's a professional that does this professionally, they would interview each department head.
Is that more money out of the taxpayers' pocket? Is that gonna be more money out of the
I don't
taxpayers?
know, Michelle, we're brainstorming here, that's it. Right now, it's nothing. So, again, this is what this is for. We're trying to figure out what's the best way of doing things. I don't know right now if that's the best way because it will further delay the public health building sale. And I would like to make sure it gets sold so then we have the funds to do a lot of this stuff. So, yes, Joan?
Thaddeus and I are nowhere near moving yet. We were put out in that building and for 6 months,
You had
we
nothing.
had no telephone and we had no internet. And now you're talking about moving us, we're ready right now, and you've gotta get phones changed and you gotta get this changed.
We already have internet in this building already.
I
And your phones are
understand
set up
that,
to
but you
plug them.
just said the phones had to be all changed, you just said that. We're not moving till that's done.
Agreed.
Now,
Do you
how,
remember Thaddeus who moved?
yes, and
You-
Thaddeus and Diane did all the physical moving, that's not happening either again.
Yes, that is.
So you talk about, we're ready to move to the CI, whatever the hell that room was. I'm sorry for saying
This
that.
is just what we're talking about
But-
now.
Then we'd move again? Like, cause you were gonna,
Cause you don't
said
know
it was
for sure.
temporary.
Well,
but-
it would be an immediate thing to get you out of the public health building so the building can be sold. And then we can evaluate if this is the best use of space. You may not move. We may move other people in there and build walls, I don't know.
What is the big rush on selling that, what is the end game on selling that public health? What is your agenda?
It is a nearly vacant building that's worth $500,000.
It wasn't vacant until you decided to get rid of public
I
health.
did not decide anything, Joan. That's the Board of Health, that's the Board of Health. So the point is that sits on 1.5 acres of land, over 1.5 acres of land, is 4,600 square foot on the main level, it's 4,600 square foot in the basement that has 10-foot high ceilings. We could put it back on the tax rolls and that money could be put back in the taxpayer's pocket. I don't think it's wise to hang on to a nearly vacant building when we can be more efficient with taxpayer resources, don't you?
I think that there was no talk about getting rid of public health until it was decided, oh, let's sell this building. Then it was, let's rush and get everybody out of here.
No, actually in 2024, the conversation was because we had to cut our budget because of the changes the legislature made. And that was, that department is where we as a board, not Jess, because it was, Phil was on there, unilaterally and unanimously voted to cut that budget because we had no choice.
To cut the budget.
Cut the budget, which then cut personnel, which then we're like, well, can we be more efficient and move people into vacant offices? That CICS office has been sitting vacant for quite some time. You've been in there, it's quite big.
It's actually the nicest offices I think we have in.
Well,
in
then
the county
move
office.
someone else into it.
My question is that since we're all brainstorming here, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but I'm going to. So, since it hasn't sold yet, shouldn't we include the public health building or the North Annex, whatever you guys call it now, into that situation? Like, wouldn't it be utilized for DOT to come out or another office come? Should we brainstorm that too, cost efficiency, instead of selling a building for $500,000 and then using that money for upgrades on other offices? When we're keeping that building, I know I'm beating a dead horse and I bring it up every single time, but shouldn't that be considered in the discussion?
I think
I agree.
the decision's already been made to sell the building.
But I'm saying it hasn't sold yet. So
Because
technically,
we can't sell it
Madison
until you
County,
guys are out of there.
Madison County still has rights of that building, correct? Yeah, you might have decided, but you can be like, oh, I'm gonna amend my decision. It's not that. But I'm just saying, shouldn't that be included in this discussion?
What be included?
Like utilizing that building too?
So as
since
a
it's-
part of the forward thinking, the future thinking, is what he's trying to say. I think he's agreeing with you
Okay.
about, it just, as you're thinking, what does the courthouse and the annex look like, but what does that look like as well?
So
I
the
think that's what
forward
I'm hearing.
thinking is AI is gonna do a lot of this work.
So,
So we're not gonna be, government is, just because a county is growing does not mean government automatically grows. So we're in 2025, there's a lot of things out there that can make everyone's jobs a lot easier by automating it. And I can see that happening down the line. So I don't think holding on to a building that was built in 1974,
which is actually,
That's
I'm sorry for
nearly
interrupting.
vacant, if I
for.
may finish,
Okay.
that's nearly vacant, is the best use of taxpayer resources. We should not be holding on to nearly empty buildings when we can put them back on the tax rolls and we can take that money and utilize that spaces that are vacant already in our buildings that we have, the arch buildings that we have. So I don't understand why folks are fighting this when it's the best thing for the taxpayers.
What if a nonprofit buys that building? It won't be on the tax rolls.
Yeah,
I can't tell who's gonna buy it, Diane.
Well, what if a nonprofit buys it? They
What
easily
if
could.
what if a business buys it?
Well, what if a business does?
And nonprofits do pay property taxes.
502 don't.
No, they
Or
don't.
502
They don't.
Okay, so the decision has been made to sell the public health building. I'm not changing my mind on that, and unless someone comes up with some new information.
So when
that's
is that
different.
gonna be?
Can I finish, please? So unless someone comes up with some new information that's different that we weren't aware of, I'm not comfortable sitting on this property for 1.5 employees and paying to maintain it and sitting on that asset. I'm not comfortable with that. When we have open office space in the courthouse, we have maintenance on the main floor of the courthouse, that could potentially be reconfigured. We have
Where are you gonna move
additional.
maintenance to?
I'm talking about ideas here, Chip.
Where are you gonna move them to?
So let me finish, please, okay? And then I'll give you the floor.
Okay.
Or after Joan, I guess. So I guess get it all out, folks, on why you disagree with the
Well,
decision.
when is
As Michelle referenced, we've been talking about this for several months. We haven't drove into the details to define it, and to understand, okay, what are the challenges, what are the pros and cons for Veterans Affairs moving here or there or anywhere. That's what we're doing. But we've made the decision to sell the building, so go ahead and get it out of your systems to complain about that decision, and then we'll move on to, okay, what are we gonna do about it?
So when is it gonna happen? That's what I'm asking you.
That's what we're defining today.
And
what
you
we're gonna
keep
do
talking
next.
about this is best, but none of the other departments agree with you. It's what you two have decided what's best.
We are elected by
Nobody
the
else
tax-
is agreeing.
Here's the thing, is we were elected by the taxpayers.
So are
And that's
they.
who may I finish? That's who we represent, and the taxpayers have been
I
telling
know,
us.
we are
we
taxpayers
pay-
also.
We pay, and, that's true, but there's a bias there, okay? So the taxpayers have been telling us, figure out a way to lower our property taxes. Stop spending so much money. Using resources efficiently is a good way to do that. I don't think paying for maintenance, paying for utilities, paying for all this empty space is an efficient way to do that. It's foolish. Now, if the building was full and we had all these people that would be a different story, but it's not. So right now, this is why we made the decision, and you used to be in support of selling the building. You were last year when
I
we all voted
mentioned
for
it
this.
and then, no, Heather.
Yes, you did.
No.
Diana. You voted.
I
for
voted not to get rid of it, not to get rid of it. I did not.
You voted for the cuts to public
I
health.
had to, because we were shortfall.
Right.
And they never fulfilled that position of Sean, never fulfilled it.
Yes, because they didn't have the budget for it.
But I never voted to get rid of the public health, ever.
You actually said you supported it on camera.
I said, maybe we should sell the public health, and then quickly decided it was a bad
That's
idea.
not true, Diane. There's
Oh,
video of
you
it.
always say that, and then we
There's
pull
video
out the
of it.
emails where it's wrong.
So anyway, we are here to represent the taxpayers. We are not here to represent government. So the Board of Supervisors have made the decision to sell this building. So we are seeking your input on how to do it the best way that meets the needs of the taxpayers. We are asking for your help. We're not asking for you to fight this. The decision has already been made.
Well,
So
We're
right
not
now,
moving till
right now, what we need is how to move forward. So they changed the date for the ADA review, by the way, today. So it's gonna be December 1st instead of December 2nd. And if it takes longer, then they'll roll into December 2nd. I've already let them know that we have a meeting on December 2nd, so, they'd be on their own if they carry over into that day. So and they are coming out to review this building and, the courthouse as well.
Okay.
So there's the other issue too, that we have to consider is, this particular plan does not allow for ADA, bathrooms on the main floor. So that's another consideration I want to keep in the back of my mind is I still wanna have bathrooms on the main floor.
You've
So-
already been told you cannot put bathrooms on that first floor
I've been
because
told
they're
by
all
who?
load bearing.
No one's told me that.
They wrote a letter from the Historical Foundation. It's
Diane-
all load bearing walls.
Diane, I understand they don't want it, but they are not the engineers. I wanna hear from the engineers. So what I would like to do is still consider that so we can offer the ADA bathrooms to those that need them in our building. Now, they do have ADA bathrooms in the Capitol building, which was designed by the same architect that did our courthouse. So if they can do it in the Capitol building downtown, I'd like to believe that we can do it here, but of course, we'll need a professional to evaluate that.
At what cost? At what cost?
Diane, at what cost, are you saying it's not worth helping folks that have disabilities that they
I
have to use the
help folks
bathroom?
every day. I take them. If I have to go with them into the elevator to the basement, I
Diane,
take
wheelchairs
them.
cannot fit into that elevator.
We always manage, Chip and I have always managed to get people where they need.
Diane, I would like to follow the ADA guidance, okay?
Okay.
The
So,
professionals.
It was discussed that, I think in the last meeting or the one prior to that if Veterans Affairs moved to the courthouse, then they could have access to the basement bathroom. So maybe, I don't know, Thaddeus, if you've been in the basement there at the courthouse, or maybe Chip can weigh in. I'm trying to understand what that looks like, because that floor isn't level. I think it would be hard for a wheelchair to get down there in its present state.
Well, we just put a drain extension on there, level off the floor.
To level off the area around that drain.
Yeah.
And then
But
the
is-
other
how wide is
doorways
that
are,
door though?
Huh?
How wide are the doors?
36-inch door.
And they're tearing
Both of
up
them
all the
not-
floors tomorrow.
Not just the ones to the bathrooms, the one that actually go down that hallway.
Yeah.
tearing out what floors, Diane?
In the basement, all that's gonna be up tomorrow where it's really
They're
hot.
just gonna cut it tomorrow. They'll be
He's
done.
just gonna cut the one spot, or he
Yeah.
said he was gonna go pretty
That's
far.
got nothing to do with the drain or nothing. That's,
I know, but they're gonna tear up that floor.
that'd be a separate issue, putting a drain extension on there.
Is it,
Are
okay,
you talking about that floor that kinda is wonky going
They're about
down
the
that
same.
doorway?
we've gotta make it.
Yeah, I'm talking about the path from the elevator to the restrooms.
There's
Yeah.
a drain there.
I don't
We
know
put a
that
drain
floor.
extension on there, level out the floor, so there'd be a gradual slope to the back bathrooms.
Okay.
That's the presentation, because the issue is elevator to go to second or third floor.
Right.
We don't have 7 figures of money to upgrade the elevator, which I've already presented you guys.
I understand.
That's not an option.
I understand.
Bathroom on main floor is gonna cost what you make for the sale of the public health building.
Oh, more.
So moving forward, to accommodate Thaddeus and veterans, we can make it work to the basement. And the
Okay.
elevator would work.
But the elevator width is too narrow.
It's nothing to do with the width, it's to do with the doors opening on the opposite
That's
side.
not true. The consultant that was here,
We're
they said the
grandfathered
width is
in,
part of
Heather.
it.
I've walked you through this, we're grandfathered in as the courthouse for these
don't
things to
have-
work, we don't have to up.
Do you have that in writing?
She told
If you got the
that
state people
meeting-
coming here, we'll get it in writing.
Okay.
I've already
That's-
spoke to people,
that's-
yes, we are grandfathered in, that we don't have to do these
Chip,
things.
Chip, the ADA consultant that was here told me that there's no such thing as grandfathering except in certain special circumstances, and she did not think we'd apply for that, but she said until we have an expert coming here and actually do a thorough evaluation, we won't know. So we should not be saying that until we know for sure that that's true. And if that's true, that's great, that solves a lot of our problems. If it's not true, then that is a completely different story, and then we have to move forward from there. So December 1, we're gonna have folks coming in to do that, and
From the
hopefully they'll
Capitol.
give us more information.
Coming from the Capitol,
Yes,
Capitol doesn't have bathrooms on the main floor either.
yeah, but they have handicap accessible elevators.
So is the basement one in the courthouse ADA accessible?
No, that's my concern, is that the actual doorway and the elevators are too narrow, you can't fit a
No, I'm not
wheelchair.
talking about the elevator, I'm talking like you can get to the basement from the ramp outside, like without going any stairs.
Mhm. But in the winter time, if they're here, say they're here meeting with Thaddeus and they have to use the restrooms, I don't wanna make them go outside and go to that ramp.
I just didn't know if there was any kind of way you could.
So the other,
Set it up in the basement.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
that would work.
so we need to figure this out, and now we also have the thing where as long as we have a transition plan, we can go a certain amount of time without being compliant. But we don't wanna do that forever, so we still need to evaluate how can we get to compliance. So
Can I
we have,
intervene for
we
a
have
minute?
folks that are disabled, so they can use the facilities exactly the same way as anybody else who's not disabled. That's the purpose of the ADA. So, we still have a lot of questions on that, but to get you in if you prefer being in the courthouse, that's fine, but my concern is if we have an issue to where eventually we're gonna have to be compliant, then I don't want you to have to move again.
Why don't we just wait and see if they force us to be compliant, and they won't?
can I interject?
That really has nothing to do with, where the best place for him is and the selling of the public health building. Would this building be, would you be opposed to this building being in here, that is?
Yeah, I don't like that office up there.
You don't like it?
No, because it just, out of the two offices, if I have to decide between the two offices, I would pick the auditor's office. The reason why is because there's more space, it seems more cohesive. I mean, I understand there's hallways and walls already being built. If they're cheaper to save taxpayers money, it'd be the auditor's office.
The doors.
All we had to do is enlarge the doors and then we could be kosher. So, out of the two offices that you give me, I'd rather go to the courthouse because of the space. That being said, there's pros and cons of both offices, but the courthouse outweighs this office in here.
Okay. For this, for the office in here, the assessor office, is there, what, other than the walls, what, is there any other issue that you have with it?
The walls, I mean, you're gonna, yeah, it's not big enough in my opinion, because if I wanted to put a conference table in there, because I really don't wanna rent this space out the first Monday of every month. Is that right? First Monday, right? Yeah. First Monday of every month, just to do my commissioners meeting, so I'd like to have my own private space
Well, there would be a conference room as part of this plan,
over
because,
there, for
because,
the courthouse.
correct.
So that means I'd have to,
Okay, so, I'm sorry, I wasn't
I
following.
like to
So
be in
you
my
were
own
saying that,
office, being like, okay, so if I gotta go print something, or I have to go research a veteran, I'm like, okay, this is what we have to deal with.
So you
So-
just said you want the auditor's office. If you have to move that, okay.
If I have to
so-
move,
so,
if I have to move.
but again, I'm thinking of your vets too. That's what I'm thinking of, not just you. I'm thinking of your vets, and I wanna make sure they have access to facilities.
But my plan A was to stay in the building that we're already in, because it's kosher, it's everything's there, and the veterans love it. I've interviewed every single veteran I've had come in for the past couple of months, because they've been asking, hey, are you moving? Are they selling this building? I'm like, yeah. Where are they moving to? I don't know. I'd approach A and B, which is courthouse, or this building, which one do you like better? They say, well, I like this building better, because we don't have to go downtown, there's parking right there, it's a short trek just to get up to the building. My question to you is, in the future, I understand I'm beating a dead horse, but I have to express my concerns, otherwise I'll go home and be like, damn, I should have said that. So my concerns are the cost benefit ratio that we run. I know. Selling the building's probably gonna get you maybe $500,000. How much is it gonna cost to move everybody, to update this building, everything like that? Would it be cost efficient just to, I know, keep the building? That was what I wanted to express. Now, I told plenty of people that, and I'm like, okay, veterans love it out there, yay. The veteran population brings a little over $7 million to this county. I'm top 10 of the state. I'm one of the top 10 people in the state bringing money in for the population. My concern is that you start alienating veterans and they don't want to go downtown, or they don't want to come to this building. That's a loss of income, in my opinion.
So it costs us maintenance anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 a year, if you add utilities and maintenance on the building and all that kind of stuff. So there's that annual cost that we pay,
I understand.
in addition to the actual capital cost if we were to sell the building. There's also the idea is that if we put that property back on the tax rolls, that property will then be contributing to the tax base. So that's another income revenue stream that we don't have right now. So it's not just about, it sounds like to me from what you're saying is this building would actually be better for you because there's
I don't
less
like that.
walk time and they'd have easier access to facilities.
But the office space up there is not up to par, in my opinion.
You said we were ready to move now.
No.
So
That space is more ready than,
Yes.
that
So-
space at the courthouse is more ready than this.
the CICS space, you're absolutely right. That one is ready.
No, I
for-
talk
Not the
about-
CIS,
I talk about the
CIS, the
auditor's
auditor's office.
The auditor's office require the entire auditor's office to move. It requires
So-
every single office to
So
move.
we're
in order
going
do
back
that.
to the, okay, I thought that was the, that
That would
paper's.
require every single office in the main
So
floor
we're
of the
going to
building
the
move.
CIC, whatever.
That's what
else.
I was thinking as an interim one until we work
Okay.
this
Well,
out.
we
But
didn't
then you're
want
gonna
to.
move them
So,
again.
no, there's no guarantee of that, Diane.
So,
Why don't you just move the auditor's office, move him in there like he wishes, move the auditors down to ICS, then
Yeah.
we're moving two offices.
Because that is a huge move and I don't know how much it would cost. We
Let's
can
get the
move-
numbers to figure it out
Chip,
first.
we can move him now into that building right
You
now.
need to
with
find
the
out if we need to
desks.
upgrade a multi-million-dollar elevator first. You need to find out if we need to put a $250,000 bathroom on main floor first.
No, that's not true,
Yes,
because
it
we
is
can
true.
have a transition plan. As long as we have a transition plan in place, they will let us do that, Chip.
We're gonna move him into, if we have to upgrade the elevator, we're just gonna go ahead and move him without upgrading the elevator?
He's the one that wants to move there, I would prefer him in here. All right, so the point is that we're
The point is, why don't we
discussing,
slow down and get some numbers first?
Chip,
Agreed.
we we want to get this building sold.
I
So
know you
right
do.
now, we need to
That's
figure out a place.
That's obvious.
We need to figure out a place for our Veterans Affairs office and for HHS. HHS says, we'll go wherever you want us to go. So they just need to let us know the time, the day, and when it's gonna happen. So I would like to do that right now with the understanding the building is gonna be sold, we are not changing our mind.
Okay, so we're gonna
how
sell
do
the
we
building
get
for
there from here?
500,000,
Chip,
and then we're gonna upgrade
Chip.
Nova for 2.5
Chip.
million.
Chip,
No, it's, Heather, I'm laying the facts out to you that I've
Chip.
already laid out to you for 2 years.
no, Chip,
Yes, I
please
have.
stop interrupting.
All right.
Let's have some professionalism here.
So,
Chip, don't go.
so here's the thing, is I'm hearing from you is that you prefer the courthouse and not here.
Wait. That was when the auditor's office was on the table. Now the CICS building, or the room, who is gonna be in that room with me? Is it just gonna be Veterans Affairs?
No, we're gonna put HHS in there as well.
So you're telling me, now, just throwing this out there, ADA compliant, blah, 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 but you also gotta remember HIPAA compliant.
Correct.
So they're gonna be able to access that office during
They would
random
not be
hours.
able to access your office, no.
I understand that, but I also have storage and everything else, so we're gonna have to build walls in that room too to keep my area secure.
You don't think there'd be enough room in that vault for your file cabinets?
Are you serious?
I have a lot of stuff,
Okay.
like a lot.
And that was where you wanted to have a meeting with your folks, cause they can't get all the way into the back room.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but we could also, the conference room that we're building, or that conference room, the old IT office, they can always meet in there and shut the door. Correct?
We could.
Yeah. But it's just like we meet in here,
Yeah.
and our office is at the
See,
courthouse.
I was under the impression the auditor's office, so that's where I was going for, but now it's that other offices, I need to pull back and actually think about that, because now I have to actually visualize another department in there, cause I thought we were just gonna have the auditor's office and then whatever the hell that, sorry, HHS on the other side. And we already had a plan saying, okay, well, that door is gonna have one way in, that's my way. And then I could take that whole
Then
side.
they've got privacy with the people that come and go from
We
your
have
office.
to have privacy. Again, I cannot be
So-
privy to his conversations with vets.
I
So if-
understand that, I understand that.
If-
Why does it matter if they're department heads and they work here, they work for the people? Why do you care if they have the auditor's office and the auditor has CICS?
Because
What
Diane,
difference
this
does it
current plan, the way it is, it'll take 6 months to get all this done.
Are you kidding me?
make? It
So
took
I-
Chatty and us one
no.
day.
Yeah,
So I have a question. So the current vacated CICS space, Michelle, would that be adequate for your needs?
We're
The auditor
coming,
needs.
absolutely, we're on top of each other. Think about our desk location. I mean, it wasn't my first choice, but after talking to him, yeah, I happen to like my office, but I'll move. And again, if you've got passports, so people come into the office and they lay out all their private information on a counter, and people are walking in and out. I mean, I've thought this through. I mean, I was pausing out of respect for you guys. Trust me, I could have come up with this a lot long before, but we're on top of each other. We don't have any desk space. This would allow for voters to come in there and register. We could have an area for passports. Laura would go into, well, I've laid it out. I'm sorry about the doors not being wide enough, but that seems a reasonable fix.
But
Do you
that
know
wall
the
can
hall,
be
do you know the hallway itself, when you walk in?
Yeah,
That hallway, is that gonna be
that
wide
is
enough?
more than 36 inches
Okay.
wide, way more.
Even
Like,
including that radiator that sticks out a little bit?
I don't know what, oh, you mean at into Thaddeus's office?
Yes, that part where it kind of,
Again, did you measure that part yet?
We did, and those doorways are not.
Not the
wide enough.
doorways, but she's talking about,
there's like a radiator, and I'm going by memory here.
Yeah.
There's like a radiator there when you go through that.
again,
door.
guys, it's been thought
Narrows the
through.
hallway
It
a
is
little bit.
sufficient for us. We'll make it work, and, but again, I do not want to move from the courthouse. I'm telling you that right now.
Okay.
I am not moving from the courthouse.
So now
Clarify.
Clayton did that wall, your wall. Clayton built that.
Which wall?
Into the court,
In
into the auditor's.
her office.
That
would
used to
be-
be
he
all
could-
open at one time.
He could easily move that door over.
And I
Make
guess
that
to your
really
point,
white.
Heather,
Get rid
why
of the
don't you
ones
just
go
give
black.
us another week
And make
and I'll
that
have the
one
numbers to
bigger.
you? Cause I'm gonna go
So
talk,
which options? Because.
just that you, just swapping CICS, or swapping our office to CICS and them into
Okay, so
the
just
auditors.
the two instead
Because
of.
I'm thinking that would fix two problems.
Well,
That would
again,
give
I
you
was-
more space,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then that would give Veterans Affairs an adequate space.
So then not, can I say that real quick?
Yeah.
So not moving.
Not moving BOS, not moving HR, which I was
Okay.
tongue in cheek, didn't really think about that was the best thing
Okay.
anyway. I just thought you
Okay.
guys might want a nicer office.
I'd be in the basement.
We could have.
And
less
Kelly's got
office
too
space.
much
Less
space.
office. Well, the HR will give us less office, it's the smallest office, so she would
Which we
actually
could,
get
and
more
that's maybe
space.
a further down the line, it's just not a number one priority.
We
in my
used to
opinion.
have that office.
So
You can have
basically
HR.
flip flop the kitty corner?
Yep.
Flop, okay,
Everybody stays where they are.
okay.
Cause I know that when we retrofitted your printer the other day, that was all included in what we're paying out of pocket anyway.
That's right. And Thaddeus you would need another line, but it would come right, it looks like it's coming in the
Comes right
corner,
in.
And we could just extend it over to the window where it's
So this is what I was talking about.
So we're gonna
the
put
hallway,
Thaddeus
and you
and
walk in,
auditors
that's
and you and the, that's great, CICS.
We'll see what we end up with.
We're gonna need to measure that again. What Supervisor Stancil is pointing out is this area in between that transition when you go in the elections door, and to be able to transition to go in the auditor's office or.
You're not gonna get a wheelchair.
I think you take the door jams out
You can,
and you can shorten that door jamb up to just being a kind of a knee wall, so there's no door.
Yeah, cause that's what Thaddeus had said, you were okay with just removing that door, right?
Yeah, we
That
could just,
was
and then
open.
taking out and just framing it up like it's just a,
Just a little.
it's all movable, Clayton built
Well,
it.
it's
so
not
we
just
can
the
move
door,
it.
it's the
That won't
actual
be a big
hallway,
deal.
you need to make sure.
out though.
Yeah,
And just have like an angle to open.
you could.
Yeah, cause I don't think there's
No,
gonna be a
you
way
need
to.
it.
That counter is where I'm gonna
Sorry,
be.
I'll just.
She wants
This part right
you
here,
want that one down?
I don't think you're gonna get a wheelchair here.
Then what you're gonna do is you're going to take out.
She wants the
take out
counter.
this, all of this, and there's nothing there anyway. And you're taking out this
Tell
wall,
You
and
want
you're
the
gonna
counter.
take it all the way up, there's a counter there, right?
Leave
So
the
the wall
counter
is
there.
here.
Opens it way up.
Oh, okay, so this would be an
It's right
entire, okay, so this, okay, I see what you're saying. So he would only go in, he'd have to go in through the doorway, there'd be a hallway there anymore.
Correct.
Right, this would.
Because it wasn't there in the first place.
No,
Or
they added it.
Now, one question I have with this approach, then if we have DHS, which is where your payroll and passports
Yep.
are, then my question is if there's a,
They have two locking locks.
could we get some quiet, please, so we can hear each other? Or step out, please, if you're gonna have a side conversation, that'd be great. My concern is, if HHS then is in your current payroll, passport space, then if they're securing that door from their side, Thaddeus is securing it from his side, do we have a fire code issue?
No.
Cause they still have egress, they still have windows, but we need to make sure of that, right?
Well,
Correct. So they do have egress from outside
they
of,
would have it, the door right here.
Mhm.
So as long as it, as long
they
as
don't have to have two exits.
They don't have to have two exits, as long as they have one doorway they can get out, this is technically a vault. So the doorway, I think, is too narrow anyway to meet fire code, so that's why this doorway, they would go out this way.
Okay.
So,
So I'm liking, this makes more sense to me, and it's impacting two departments and not all of them. That doesn't mean that we can't address other space needs or bringing more efficiency with our space in the future. Like, for example, I know I've talked about like with Mitch, and talked with Mitch over and over, and he could go anywhere, and it makes sense to me to put him near Sheriff Barnes in the Elderly Services Building. We've got a totally unused space over there.
Correct.
So that's something we can think about for future and developing more of our master plans. But to me, just in talking through these challenges, I'm still a little concerned about the vets being able to easily access that space if you were in the auditor space or otherwise. We talked about this morning and other times, moving the handicap and the veterans parking spots right to the middle.
And we can
of
do,
their
and we can
walkway.
do that at our leisure. I mean, we, there's nothing preventing us from installing handicap spots. In fact, I remember when we were talking about the ramps being on that side of the building, we were thinking about adding almost, I think, 6 of them. Was that a conversation?
We can do that.
Yeah, I think so.
There's nothing precluding that from happening.
No,
Right
we
now-
met the minimums when we did this, they met the minimums, but we can certainly add.
And right now, there's a handicap spot right there, right by the middle, to have easier access to the ramps. And there's also a veterans on either
All the
corner. We can
corners.
move one of those up, so it's right next to
Right.
the handicap accessible side.
I think that's
Yeah.
a city thing, the ones on the corner, we have to work with them.
Yeah.
Those
So
are
okay.
city.
the other concern you mentioned, Thaddeus, was, the time to walk, you know, there's a significant longer walk
Yeah.
for the folks to go from that to the ramps, and then they took the ramps up. So, that's another reason why I was thinking of this building, because it's gonna be a lot shorter walk, for them. They have a building where, an elevator where they can get a wheelchair in this building. They do have, we can make those bathrooms handicap accessible. So that's why I was leaning towards this building. Again, I'm thinking about the vets and what's easier for them. So
I agree.
is there a way that we can make this building work? Cause what I don't wanna see is
Parking
folks
sucks.
struggling. I'm sorry?
Parking sucks here.
Okay,
If you have a board of supervisors meeting, there's no room. If they have like DOT, there's no room for them. So I mean, yeah, even if you designate like 1 or 2 spots in the front of this building,
okay.
let's say I get 4 people or 4 cars coming in here for me, they're gonna have to find parking around this. So I mean, it sucks for parking. That's why I was leaning towards the courthouse, cause there's
Okay.
more parking. I understand it's a longer walk, but
That is-
if I have someone with a wheelchair and they call me and be like, hey,
Yeah.
it's a hell of a walk. All right, I'll run
Okay.
out there and
Right.
drag you in.
Okay, so I just wanted to mention that to you, because that was part of the
Alright.
thinking.
But I mean,
is the
I'm
shorter
weighing the
walk.
pros and cons to all this stuff. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do.
By the time they are parked around the square, their walk isn't even, they're gonna have to walk no matter where they park on that square.
Yeah.
And I wanna talk about, when I was on my crutches not that long ago, and I'm athletic, I have a very difficult time getting into this building. But the courthouse, yeah, this one, I
This
did.
one?
And I can go upstairs with crutches. This was harder for me, over at the courthouse.
Why is it hard for you?
It was harder to get up because I had to go around the far way, and now we'll have the doors fixed, but I couldn't open the doors with crutches.
Well, the doors are
We're
gonna
gonna
change.
fix them.
So
I
that's
just
another
found-
thing, the doors here are gonna be changing, they're gonna be automated, they're not gonna be so I want you to kind of think about that.
I'm, the space in that, assessor's, right? Assessor's office is not adequate in my opinion.
Okay.
Cause I mean, we'd have to find somewhere for a conference room. We'd have to do this. We had to, plenty of
So you couldn't
storage.
have conference, you couldn't have it here?
We
You
could,
flat
but
out don't want that.
Because
out.
pretty much I don't. I mean,
Don't want
because,
it.
I mean, just, I don't think it's feasible.
Because all our boards meet in this room, all of them.
He doesn't want it.
I understand that, but I wanna talk through it, Diane. So, all of them meet here, what is it about this space that you don't like?
Well, up there, I mean.
Right there.
We'd have to find room for storage, we'd have to find room for our conference table. I understand we could meet down here, but I like to be in my office or near my office because I do a lot of running back and forth if I forget to print something. And, I don't wanna leave my board here just to, I
And
like
there's,
to get stuff done.
there's 5 of us on that board, and I'm not gonna sit here and look at Thaddeus sitting up there in your seat and the other 4 of us back here. I mean, we have conversations about people that cannot leave that room or be overheard, and we're not gonna be screaming at each other.
Well, all the other boards, most of our other boards are 5, and they usually sit around here, and they talk to each other.
They just told you they
So,
didn't want
I
that.
understand,
We're
I'm
across the
asking
table, and
questions
that's
so
how
I
we
can
want it.
understand. I'm trying
A
to
conference
understand.
table.
Okay, so this is why I talk
I
to people,
just-
I'm trying to understand.
The space, the accessibility and stuff
Okay.
like that, parking, I apologize.
That might be mine.
No, that was mine.
Okay, good.
Bad phone.
I thought I I probably needed
So-
all of them.
I mean, it's just, I mean, I weighed the pros and cons for both, and pros over there are better than here.
Okay, so, the accessibility for the restrooms.
If you guys have a plan in place, I'll work with it. But otherwise, yeah, I'll help them down and whatever I need to do to make it accessible.
Okay.
Cause that's my B plan right there, cause I had A, B, and C. And so C was this room, and I weighed the pros and cons for both, and B outweighed C any day.
So you want the auditors bottom line?
That's more efficient, because I'm not gonna be with HHC, HHS,
HHS.
whatever they
Yes,
are.
exactly.
I don't wanna be with them. I like my own space, I like to be secure. HIPAA violations, I don't wanna deal with those, cause they suck. I've never dealt with them, but I've heard other people do them. So I wanna have everything secure and everything like that for myself. I don't wanna have some other group go, like, yeah.
Okay, so, cause that was one of the concerns I had, was one, the time it takes to walk, the length from that, and then also the accessibility for the restrooms, cause we wanna make sure that our vets have access to that if they need it. And what I'm hearing from you is you're not concerned about the length for where they have to walk, and you're not concerned about the accessibility as much as you are here, if you were here in this building.
We didn't say we weren't concerned.
Okay,
But the pros and cons.
okay, so those don't weigh as heavily for you if the courthouse is, cause I'm trying to understand, cause what I don't want to happen is we move you in there, we get you all settled, and our vets have issues.
Go ahead, Joan.
It's not that we're not concerned about it. We are concerned about their privacy.
Okay.
We're not gonna get it if we're having to share that office any time of the day that HHC or whoever they are have to come in there. They're not gonna have that privacy either.
But if you have the assessor's office, you'd have that to yourself.
If you guys build the walls and everything like that, and then the space, I mean, where am I gonna store all my stuff?
How
We
much
have,
stuff do you got?
Well, I have outreach supplies, I have tables, I have Christmas trees, I have all this stuff for all my outreach events, plus I have filing cabinets. I've been trying to go digital, but some of the records I have to keep. I have books, I have, what else we
we
got?
have lots of stuff.
We got a lot of
Storage.
stuff. Plus Joan has all her stuff too, so I mean, there's a lot of stuff in
Since
that.
you're government, you have to keep things probably 7 years
Yep.
after, yeah,
We have to keep, a lot of those records where we have
forever.
provided whatever kind of aid we provided, federal or county, we have to keep those records.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna have a lot of space though to do that.
That's why if you look at the back room, I can put a conference table there. They're getting rid of all those filing cabinets around there. And I can put all my stuff.
This all be in the storage and then the conference in the middle, and having, bookcases and stuff all around.
Have you been in that room? It's not that big.
Yeah, they have to.
I mean, he's making it sound
Michelle,
like there's a lot of stuff.
you guys would take that island from your reference.
Oh,
room,
absolutely,
right?
no, I mean, and all of our file cabinets across the wall. We've got to call into movers.
Okay,
So I wanna have every single cost covered,
okay,
from whatever, again, I agree, pause, don't switch BOS and HR, but that'll just,
okay.
It seems to me that we need this walkthrough regarding the ADA. If we can come to terms with which path we want to pursue, then I think we kind of need that
I can tell, when
walkthrough.
they're here, I can tell them what we're thinking of doing, and then they can advise on if that's a good idea or not.
are they going to meet with me that day, or
Need
you,
to
Jess,
make
or both
I
of
mean,
us?
I don't have the time when they're gonna be here, but you can join us in the walk.
Okay, now, is that gonna be a public meeting then?
No, it's just gonna be you and I.
Oh,
and then-
okay, I thought it was Jess and I,
Oh, is
No.
it you and her? I don't care.
okay.
No, it's one of us, or we have to do the public meeting.
I
with all
think
three
it's
of
just
us.
one of us.
Okay,
So did you wanna do it, since you've been kind of,
even measuring,
I'll do whatever is best for the group.
well,
I
either
can
me or
certainly-
Jess.
okay.
It's
We'll
December,
join you.
we don't know a time yet is the
I don't have a
problem,
time
right?
yet.
But it's December first, and
First.
potentially into the second.
Yeah.
So why don't I just reserve that day, and I guess I'm willing to do that if
Okay.
I can find out a time.
Okay, well, they had changed over in personnel, so that's why it's not finalized yet for their time, but as soon as they do that, if, it'll either be me and you, or it'll be you and her, whatever.
Okay.
Whoever's
That
most
works.
available.
That
I'll
works.
send out to the board when I get the firm time
And the contact info
and the
for,
contact info.
Are you gonna have the department heads? They should probably go.
No,
No, the department heads are not,
it's just gonna
it's
be
just gonna be ADA.
me and it's an ADA,
Okay.
evaluation.
All right.
I'm not gonna be over here, I mean, unless you guys want me to be, but
Well, they,
I guess I should,
they're gonna be
shouldn't I?
reviewing both buildings.
Okay,
So, I don't know, I think it might be a good idea if you are there,
all right,
so you have in your brain.
Yep.
Other ideas,
I'll block it out.
okay?
so then the
Um,
question is, do we pursue getting some estimates of what this plan looks like, if that's what we're in agreement on, or do we hold until we have that ADA walkthrough? so
I'm
we
gonna go
next time?
forward with the estimate, it's not gonna cost us anything
To get an
Right.
estimate.
to get the estimates, and that way, that facilitates the sense of urgency I'm hearing, that, hey, by the way, as long as we're all good with a transition plan for ADA compliant bathrooms, then we're good to go.
So,
And I can schedule solutions if they're gonna be the people for their visit in December.
mhm,
Get them on the schedule to move all those around.
right, so cause they'll have to go to the public health building, look at their equipment, and
So they'll do that now, this visit.
they'll do it
Yeah, they're good.
today.
Tom's here today and tomorrow.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that we consider just flip-flopping CICS in the auditor's office and just keep everybody else the same. Are you still gonna turn the old IT room into a conference room?
I think I
I think
definitely
that's a good idea.
want it, but I want you to know, part of my pricing is
Oh.
painting and flooring, because they're both a hot mess.
Oh, they are.
And we've got the lost money, we've got that kind of thing, it's within our normal, again, I'm just trying to be efficient with time right now. So
Okay.
while we're getting,
So-
again,
so
and then
I-
also the vault,
Yes.
the vault area that he would use for conference room, once I get all that, those cabinets out, we'll paint there too. So we'll have that,
Okay,
okay, cause you're gonna have all that exposed wall of where we have all of our cabinets.
What's the condition of the carpet then in the auditor, the flooring in the auditor's
that's all,
office?
that was all new.
That's
It's all new.
It's all new.
Okay, and we're not changing any, reconfiguring it, so that should be okay, right?
Right,
But, I mean,
correct.
both these spaces might need paint, I don't know, I haven't looked closely at
CICS does not,
Okay,
and only the vault needs paint.
Because all those things. that
Everything
we
else was
remember.
new,
Do we know, they probably, once you move those old cabinets, we might have to look at whatever's underneath them carpet wise.
possibly.
goodness.
You know, under, are you in the vault or in the other office? The vault is cement, because I tried to lift it up, because that carpet's terrible. I painted all those
Again,
offices.
you know, like I said, we're just gonna evaluate that. I
Okay.
mean, if that's okay with you guys.
So what I'm hearing is we just do a flip flop, and I'm on board with that. Thaddeus, you're comfortable at the courthouse, so, and then please keep us informed as when that moves forward, if that's not working. And then what I still would like to do an evaluation of both our buildings to make sure we use space efficiently. Because, you know, up to this point, it's been kind of throw things against the wall. And just buy a building and throw things against the wall, and I don't know if that's the best way of doing it. I would rather have some planning. So I'm okay moving forward with the flip-flop.
Okay.
And so that will probably work into your pricing, because now it's not gonna be the whole floor, it's just gonna be those two offices.
Absolutely, and the conference room,
And the conference room.
because that's unutilized space that would be very handy to have
Correct.
meetings and
So-
overflow, because right now our overflow is a third floor courtroom, which is not conducive to.
Okay, so, no, it's not. Do you have any idea how long something like this would take?
It depends, we're gonna do doorways. I'm gonna say 3 weeks tops.
To get the pricing, or just to do it?
Pricing will be done next week,
Okay.
to do it 3 weeks.
Okay, all right.
Are you getting, when I looked into moving companies, it looked like I found 3
Yeah, well,
in this area.
yeah, just, it's gonna be, my guess, it'll be 2 men in a truck, honestly, because Well, again, good luck. What, no, I mean, the two local folks that we reached out to, they have not called back yet, so we just started this last week. And then, you get van lines coming down, you get, you know, you could get office movers, but you're gonna pay a premium. And I think that, you know, if we're talking about $1,000 to move offices, that to me doesn't warrant a whole lot of brain power to get 3 bids and et cetera, et cetera.
So there were 3 companies that I found. I'm just gonna email that to you and.
Thank you.
And just so we can compare notes, so I know which ones didn't call you back.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
And that is, if you guys have been working on getting yours organized and packed up and what you need and what you don't need, and, cause I know, Susan worked really hard and she got rid of a bunch of stuff, so. It sounds like that it's, you know,
You and I worked cheap, didn't we? We did it for free.
Well, that's what I've reassured Thaddeus from the beginning. We're not gonna be expecting
No.
him to move his offices himself. We're not gonna drop this on him and say you need to move next week.
no,
It's not gonna be handled like it was before. I'm sorry that it's not fast, but I'm glad it's not fast, so we
Yeah, I'd
can
rather
make sure
take my
we're
time and
doing
make
it.
sure everything was squared away before we even set foot in the office.
Yeah,
Cause I
No,
wanna
my-
make sure everything's kosher before we move, otherwise I'm gonna be not happy.
well, my goal is to have everything set up and ready for you to walk in. So, so anything you can do to make it more efficient, because obviously there's gonna be a transition time between getting your desk set up and the phone plugged in and moving everything in. So the more things you can get packed up, the quicker, but I don't want you going to a desk that doesn't have a phone working.
Yeah.
Okay,
or a fax machine.
or a fax machine, or a printer.
That happens on a weekly basis.
So, and you're gonna have better internet here in the courthouse.
Do you have a bad printer?
No, it's just, we moved it from one office to the other and it never got hooked up back up to the fax.
Okay.
So I've been utilizing public health fax machine.
And every time we have a storm, I can't print from my printer. I have to send it to somebody else to print for me.
Yeah.
So, what I discovered in your office is that there's dual service going on right now, and that could be part of the problem. So we've been paying for double service. I know.
That's not the problem, though.
Every time my internet goes out, my phones go out for a week, cause I have to call New York and be like, hey, please reset my
Hey, Joan.
Well,
phone.
your phone number is actually supposed to be moved into different system, and I'm wondering if some of that programming is stuck somewhere, and that could be causing the problem, I don't know. But we'll make sure that it's not painful like it was before, okay?
I wonder if the dual service goes back to Boone and it never got taken away.
No, it was set up for Thaddeus and I. The last time I called him on Solutions on a Friday, the following Friday I called again. It took him about 15 minutes to even find my computer in the Solutions system. And then it took him almost 2 hours to make it available for me to print from my printer or from my computer to the printer.
Well, the phones are a little different. The phones are VoIP. So, what was supposed to happen is when we moved to MediaCom in that office, they were supposed to move everybody to the same account with MediaCom and disconnect the CenturyLink, and they never did.
Because public health didn't want to change. So only our 2 offices were changed.
Well, that would have been
But-
helpful to know.
And the
Because
phone,
everybody's-
we never know what the phone is working or not. You have to check it daily to see if it's working.
Well, Michelle, yours always works, doesn't it?
Oh, my phone, everything works in the office.
So you'll be all right.
So we'll be moving your phone numbers to the courthouse network, so there won't be any issues. So, and Tom will help with that and work with the carrier.
As soon as I
on that.
get over and find him, he's cleaning out the servers right now. He's got brought equipment, and we're cleaning all of our servers today.
So where, are they gonna stay there and build a cage around them, or where are they?
I'm gonna move it in the corner, and, cause that's where everything comes into that room.
Right,
And I don't know yet.
okay,
Right now, it's not like we're renting out space to the public.
Mhm.
So everybody that would use that conference room is a county employee. And so again,
If you need help finding, telecom cages, let me know.
sure,
I can get resources to you to figure it
Alrighty.
out. Okay, so it sounds like we have a consensus on this.
On those impact, it sounded like Thaddeus, Michelle, board,
You
it
guys
sounds
are
like
good?
we have consensus of.
If they want that, I think it's great,
Flip-flop.
we'll support
Okay,
them.
so we'll do that, and then,
it's
alright.
being exhausted, but sure.
Yeah, it's,
But it'll be great when it's done. Those are
we'll
nice
give you an
offices.
opportunity to clean out stuff that people
Michelle,
don't need anymore.
Well, and you know, truthfully, yeah, but and Thaddeus is comfortable having the recorder books still left in there, cause
Oh.
those ancient books.
Yeah.
you have to keep those.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
That wouldn't be too bad for us.
What's that?
I feel like it wouldn't be too bad for us to move, cause like, we don't have much.
Well,
files.
well,
We have wall
again,
space in?
what's that?
We have wall space for those?
The book, those,
Yeah.
no, those will stay, those will stay.
They'll be a decoration.
I think it's, yeah, I like that, I like the auditor's
There's
office.
lots and lots of really good shelving in the basement of that public.
So I'm planning on moving the, conference room from
that's all
the
built in.
public health to,
The steel.
it should move pretty quickly if
The
we can
table,
get
the table,
people.
the chairs and all
We
that
have a
stuff.
system.
I'm thinking of all those.
My
little
goal.
ones.
Okay, so we'll just rely on you to update the board with your progress
Agreed.
on that, so it sounds like. we have
Construction
a plan.
management, woo-hoo.
So, okay, all right, well, using your past life skills.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. All right, so any other discussions on old business? Otherwise, we'll move on to new business. Okay, new business, renewal of Winterset dispatch agreement. I sent you guys both the information on both Earlham and Winterset. It is not expired currently, and.
One was and one wasn't, right?
No, the Earlham one, we changed to a 3-year, so they're not expired. And Winterset, they have 1 more year, so it's fiscal year 28 is when the Winterset one expires. Now, it's entirely up to the board if we wanna renegotiate that agreement, because Sheriff Barnes told us that it's actually, they're going over the cap. I don't see Winterset agreeing to that at this point, so,
I
They're
think it's
just gonna
worth a
move.
discussion.
Oh,
Um,
they're gonna move. They're gonna
how?
build their own station.
but they're still gonna do dispatch with us.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the new police station, they're still gonna have all the dispatch coming out of our,
All the 911 dispatch, yeah.
Because
whether or
that's
not they-
millions of dollars.
Yeah,
So they
because
can't.
it's very expensive to run their own, so that's why they partnered. It used to be where they were just paying 1994, 1995 rates. So we brought them into the modern century, and then we had a contract where we capped it, and we renewed it, earlier this year, in January, as is, because there's so many other stuff going on, let's just renew it. So, but Sheriff Barnes did the work and said, hey, look, it's actually, they're going over their cap based on the numbers. So, at the time, he didn't realize we had renewed it, so it's up to the board and how you wanna do it. I'm thinking we just kinda let sleeping dogs lie right now.
Why don't we ask Jason?
But if you want to talk to them about that and point it out, maybe plant seeds for future renewals so they don't balk on any increased cost to them. Because we're covering, the county subsidizing more right now than the cap.
I think it's worth a discussion at minimum, even if there are no changes made to it. Now, whether or not they actually respond to me and my inquiries, that's a different story, but I'm sure gonna try, so.
Would you be willing to talk to the sheriff and get his numbers, his
Mhm.
breakdown?
Yep.
And then, reach out to Winterset, because, we'll be having this discussion next January.
Yeah.
Okay, so, wanna prime the pump for that, because then we'll have to, the renewal will come up in fiscal 28.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know when they'll have their new police station built.
It's gonna be, they're still in
That's
fundraising,
years.
so it's gonna be years
Okay.
before that happens, so.
Okay.
What are you gonna do if the sheriff says just leave it alone?
then we'll leave it alone, but I still think it warrants a communication with Winterset, so they know we're going over here, we're gonna have to make it'd be great if they could be amicable and discuss a change now to recover some of our loss, but if not, then there will be changes when we renew this. Yeah, we gotta recover our costs.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah, we subsidize them for decades, so, but again, you know, I'm willing to let it lie for now, but if you think there's value, I'm fine.
You know what, I'm okay with it lying, but there's gonna have to be a discussion at some point, so we might as well,
Yeah,
Let us
start having a discussion now.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Other than,
meeting with Drew tomorrow.
she actually represents Winterset, so I think
Oh, that's true.
it'd be better for her to do it.
Yeah, so.
Okay, all right, any other discussion on that?
No.
Okay, next one, discuss the budget. Okay, so I sent you guys the current fiscal 26 budget where we're at right now, just to kind of start percolating conversations about that. So, what I know, Michelle, you're working really hard on getting everything ready for that, and I appreciate that. Have you met with department heads yet, or have they gotten you all their information back yet?
No, we're on schedule. I've delivered that schedule to you guys.
Okay,
That's the best, honestly, the best we can do right now.
okay, so you're comfortable?
We're not gonna be ready until December, whatever that day
The
was.
second.
Well, that's the budget amendment.
Right, she.
I'm
No, the budget amendment's the 9th, but, oh, I see what you're saying, I'm sorry, you're right.
Cause
December
the way
2nd.
this is written is, I thought you were talking about the budget today, and I'm like, geez, guys, we're not
No.
even freaking
No.
close. See, discuss the budget.
Well,
So-
yes, I was in the
More
budget,
scheduling.
scheduling and both for the amendment and then for any kind of future discussions.
So there is a conflict with the, excuse me, the December 2nd meeting that we have, the active shooter training. Threat assessment training for the county employees will be on December 2nd, December 4th, from 10 to noon. So our meeting that we have set up on the 2nd kind of conflicts.
What
So,
time is that training?
It's 10 to noon. So what I wondered about with everybody here, if we could move that day to not conflict with that training, if we could potentially move our work session to afternoon?
On the
When's the
2nd?
active shooter?
It's 10 to noon on December 2nd and December 4th. There'll be
And
two
the
different
4th.
sessions, you can pick one, we are hoping to make it a requirement. that
So it's 10
everybody-
to noon on the 2nd and 4th.
Yes, at the Jackson Building at the fairgrounds.
I'm okay, yeah.
So you wanna do
noon.
budgets when?
So right now, we have it scheduled an extra session for December 2nd at 9:30.
Right.
To
Which
go
would,
over the budget amendment.
yeah, so I wonder if we can move that to the afternoon to accommodate this other training, for county employees and and all of us.
Well, if you do that budget, it's just the hearing. That should take,
No, I think
No,
you're
no, you guys
misunderstanding.
wanted it a week early. You
We
wanted
wanted-
their request a week
The
early.
hearing is on the 9th.
yeah.
We requested a meeting on the 2nd, so we could go over everyone's requests for the budget amendment before we have it at hearing and approve it on the 9th.
Are you ready for that, Michelle? Wouldn't it be easier to go later? Do the hearing and then you'll all be ready to do the request? You tell us what would work best.
No, I mean, I think the point would be is,
I'd say,
yeah, no, I'm okay. As long as, like I said, I don't mind doing extra meetings as long as they're on Tuesdays.
all right, so you want December 2nd, we'd be.
Well, we had it already set
Yes,
for
we
the
did.
2nd at
And
9:30, and you're just asking to be moved to
Nine-
9:30.
Move it to the afternoon.
Would like 1:30 work
Works for
for
me.
you and for the board?
So that would accommodate the shooter.
Yep.
Yeah.
The active shooter training, then it has time for anybody who's participating in that, for them to grab something to eat, if they then have to come to this meeting.
So we're gonna go 1:30, December 2nd, and then we'll go the active shooters, and then we could go the 2nd or 4th on that.
Okay,
Is it the same, is the training the same both days?
Yes.
So if they don't make it on the 2nd,
Yes.
they could go to one of, okay,
And there's discussion about trying to record it, but that hasn't been worked out yet, who's gonna be doing that.
okay.
I've never had it recorded. Well, yeah, I did take a class online, long time ago.
This is Deputy Kinney's actually
I know.
conducting this one, but
You used to be able to do federal ones online.
Okay.
yeah, there's a bunch of online ones available that we're looking at too, but this one we wanted in person, for all employees, so.
They're
Okay.
good.
So we're gonna move the budget amendment work session from 9:30 to 1:30,
December 2nd,
December 2nd.
and then December 2nd and 4th,
And I'll be posting the hearing,
and that's
next week.
December 9th. The budget hearings,
I mean, even though we set the date, I didn't have to post it.
what time is it, the 9th?
That's
It's our
regular
night meeting.
Yeah, oh, that's right, that's
It's an evening.
6 p.m.
Our night meeting.
I've got,
Okay, so we got that squared away. So, did you guys have a chance to look over our, fiscal 26 budget?
Yeah,
Um,
we don't have any revenues.
Yeah, Michelle, do you know when the, is year end done? No. Any idea when it'll be done?
Your guess is good as mine.
Okay. And so so that means month end isn't done yet?
July's not even done yet.
Okay.
So the point is, I'm working around that. And I'm doing all my real estate stuff. I cannot do my financial stuff, but I'm gonna have a problem December 1st if I can't get the accrual done.
Okay.
So I'll know how to work around that. Yeah,
So
I
you're
will though.
waiting
On what, Michelle?
But you guys are gonna have, you guys really don't have a lot of revenue to deal with, and I can estimate revenue based on last year. And again, my thought is, we're ahead of this game. Even at my schedule, we're ahead.
Yeah, we don't.
And so you're just gonna be able to look at it at, a snapshot. We're gonna present our budgets to you guys.
Right.
I just can't speak to much more than that.
Okay. Is there anything, that you can tell us as to why you're having trouble getting that done? Is there a system issue? Is there?
So tomorrow, I will be reconvening, I hope, with Solutions, the software side, and as a group, providing everybody's available, and get down to the bottom of why have we been reported that the double warrants were fixed and they weren't, and just navigating with all parties. I mean, everybody's been assigned their own person,
Right.
and until we're ready to have everybody work, like, I know I'm him-hawing around a little bit because I don't want to say anything disparaging.
Okay.
So that's okay. I mean, you
I
okay?
guess my question.
I'm problem solving right now.
My question would be then, do you, this timeline, I guess you let us know if you're running into some hurdles and you need more time.
I think you guys are most concerned about expenses. Correct me if I'm wrong. You will have your expenses from my side.
But we need the revenue too. I
You
mean,
do, but that's when we go to enter the budget.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
And so, again, I can't fathom, even if worst case scenario, we weren't looking at revenues till January 1st, it is still not
We're still.
horrible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we.
I'm gonna ask, again, pumping the brakes so that we have good numbers on expense side.
Okay.
We're not forgetting a contract, we're not miscalculating, salaries versus IFRS versus FICA. Those are the things, and the other thing I'm doing is I'm familiarizing myself with every single line item in the general ledger, because part of that critical evaluation is coding bills correctly.
Because a lot of them have old labels that are no longer applicable.
Agreed, and I'm sitting down one-on-one with department heads, and I'm encouraged.
Okay. So,
And that's about 1 or 2 a week I'm getting done. So again, we're still good. And that's the expense side of it. And then I do have historical data. And again, when you talk to these department heads, they know what they brought in, whether it's reported on Solutions or not.
so one of the things that we need to be aware of too is legislative session is coming. And there's all kinds of talk of what they're gonna do to force us to cut stuff. So, my concern is that and this is what happened last year when we had to last minute make cuts, is I don't wanna be caught flat-footed. So I would like to have departments ready to go on things that they can cut or things that they can make, they can do to make things more efficient, to allow cutting, or maybe not allow increases. Because I'm worried, I don't wanna be making a last minute decision in order to comply with legislative law that takes place, and we're forced to do things. So, but another reason why I wanted this, to go over the budget is to look for things and maybe make suggestions on where potentially departments can cut.
I think that once you are presented with the budget, would be a more appropriate time.
Okay, so, because what I'm doing is I'm looking.
I know.
At the spending,
Right,
and my concern is, there's always been default increases every year in spending. So, for instance, I mean, you had mentioned at the last meeting about payroll software. Well, upfront expense, ongoing, if it frees up time in your employees, so they're not doing all this manual labor, it's all automated, it increases efficiency for department heads for their payroll input. Is that worth doing? Because we may be forced to do it. And I don't wanna be making that decision in March. Because knowing our legislature, the way to the last.
well, I'm gonna tell you that payroll systems do not cover vacations, they do not greet the public, they do not.
They're not what?
They do not greet the public, they do not staff the office, okay? So there's a lot of duplicity, a lot of double, we don't just do one thing when we show up.
Right, well, I
We,
understand.
we are still a public service oriented organization.
I understand.
And I know people love AI all over the place. But again,
I'm
and
not saying
the people are.
getting rid of your people, I'm just saying giving them tools to make them more efficient, like say for instance, if we can free up, 5 to 10 hours of folks' time to do other things, so they can greet the public, so they're not sitting at their desk 2 days a week, 2 days every other week working on payroll. I would like to give them that opportunity so they can do more things for your office. Not just your office, I'm talking all offices, I would like all offices to look at that, if there's a way.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
Is
No,
she-
fine.
I didn't realize she had to go. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, is there things out there that department heads have not looked at before, because the default was always hiring a new person
But I think
or
you've just
struggling
spent
through it.
You've spent the last year really beating that down. I mean, in a good way. It's not a criticism. It is, I think we are all very concerned about our jobs. We're concerned about, being able to do our jobs well. And, I wanna be as concerned with growth and concerned with ways to, for instance, we have a treasurer's office who's doing a great job, but can we do more? How can you increase revenue so that we don't have to just be bare bones minimum? So there's two sides to all of this. And that's what good financial planning does. Are we leaving money on the table? Are we outsourcing things we shouldn't be outsourcing? And so again, I'm very, very, I agree with you. I know it doesn't sound like it, but we're thin. Everybody's thin. And you, again, at some point you have to trust us instead of always assigning that. I never understood why, being a county employee, you were the bad guy, that we were just that's how I feel. And I've had people tell me that. So I wanna, I guess, comfort you or assure you, we are all very aware that, but our groceries go up too. Our expenses go up too. Our co-pays go up too. And at some point, I have to ask myself, and this has been asked of me, what is the end game? What are we trying to do to our county? Do we want to thrive, or do we want to just get by? And it's not a debate. I just want you to have comfort that it is our mindset to be frugal.
So,
And I know I'm speaking for a lot of folks who visited with me during our budget meetings.
and we represent the taxpayers. Those are the ones we see every day. Those are the ones that we, when we campaign, those are the ones we talk to. And 99% of the time is, you gotta figure out a way to lower property taxes, you're killing us. That's who we represent. Now, because we fight for the taxpayers, what they're asking us to do is not a condemnation or a comment on what our employees do. We're trying to figure out ways to save money and while still offer the same amount of services. So, and it just doesn't, it seems like we get pushback on that quite often. And
But I
people
don't think you
forget,
got
people,
pushback last year. I mean, all your elected officials took 0% raises, 2.5% for increases, and it just, I didn't see the pushback, did
no,
you?
the pushback, yeah, there was pushback on no raises, there was pushback, and there's been pushback quite significantly since January. Previous to that, when there was a different board, I didn't have any pushback about other than me raising taxes. I got pushback from my constituents, absolutely I did. So, and those are the ones I represent. I don't represent government, I represent the taxpayers. So I have to always look for ways to save the taxpayers money. We have raised property taxes 75% in the last decade. We have only grown 5.5% in the same time period.
So do you agree that we need to address growth?
We need to address growth in government, absolutely we do. So how do we do that?
Cut services.
Oh, no. How do we do that is we become more efficient with what we have. We do more with less, kind of like what they do in the private sector. They do more with less all the time. They can make it work. We need to make it work. So I'm asking for department heads to see this as a team effort because we all serve the exact same people. And the exact same people are dying on the vine here. They can't afford to live in our county. And I do not want to force people to make a decision on staying in our county or having to move because our taxes are so high. So looking for ways to make things more efficient, I think should be our end goal.
I don't think anybody's arguing with you.
Okay, well, I'm getting pushback for selling a building. We had a huge discussion about selling a building.
I think
So
it would help
here's
if
the
we
thing is
knew.
that I think that if we just try to remember who we serve, and ultimately those are the ones we are accountable for, those are the ones that I work for. I don't work for government, I work for the taxpayers. So I wanna make sure that we're doing the best we can in service to them. And I've been doing
I'd
that.
like to keep more of our money here at home,
Yes,
instead of outsourcing.
the priority though to the taxpayer is how big a check they write to the county. They don't care about whether or not we outsource.
But do we
They care about
understand
how much money they're
what-
spending.
Do we understand the composite of that tax statement?
Mhm.
What percentage the county takes up?
25%
I
about.
understand that.
No, for every dollar of taxes, how much is going through the county?
I can't control what other elected officials do with their budgets, okay? The taxpayers need to hold them accountable. I can't control what City of Winterset does, City of Earlham does.
I'm just
can't
saying, I
control
think you should
that.
pat yourself on the back, because we did do that.
We did do that, and it was a struggle, and it was a fight. And we're still getting a fight about something, there's nobody losing their job. We're just selling a building, and the first hour of our conversation was about that. And we shouldn't be
It's free-
fighting
it's a
about
free-
that.
It's a free country.
I understand that, but we shouldn't be fighting about that when we serve the same people. So my question, the reason why we wanted the budget is I wanna start looking at line by line and figuring out where we can cut expenses.
We've always gone line by line.
But we haven't always cut things down here.
We've cut things. We've
No,
cut.
We've raised taxes almost every year. That's not cutting anything. So anyway, so what I would ask the board is to look over the budget. That was the worksheet that was sent to you for expenditures.
We have.
And figure out where we can ask our department heads to cut ahead of time. So we're not making this decision in March, or heaven forbid, waiting till the legislature to make it for us. I do not wanna be put in that position again, that was painful. And unfortunately, they have a habit of doing that, so we need to expect that to happen. And Michelle, I still need to get with you on the telecom stuff, I apologize that we haven't been able to square away, do we wanna set an appointment for that? Or is that?
You know, I'd like to just, I got a lot to do the rest of the day,
Yeah,
so
that's-
maybe just send me an email if you would, please.
Okay. Okay,
I have one quick thing before we move on. One of the things that I didn't mention to you, Michelle, and I'm wondering if when you're getting some budget, is I believe that Sean needs an office, a walled office. He manages people. And I'm wondering, it's just something to look at when we have people looking at this. I wonder if it would be possible to give him some walls, or a wall office in that space.
Now, you correct me, nothing in your office, I can find it all online, correct? So if they stand there and listen, I can find it. I can.
Well,
It's
I'm
not about
hearing something
that.
different.
The privacy issue, he manages people, so he needs a private space to deal with personnel issues and other
Oh,
matters.
personnel, is that what you
Yeah.
mean, personnel?
well, how are you doing it now?
Right now, we're just kind of getting by. There are people that I'd like to hire that because of, you know, structural issues with the office and also not having the ability to house them in an environment that I feel is conducive to the job. I'm having to delay at the moment, so, and that was something I was gonna bring up in the conference board meeting, but it's just something that the space is not long-term conducive to.
And that
effectiveness,
wasn't
yeah.
your space was across the hall, and then
Initially,
it
yeah.
got moved.
Yeah.
So in this whole conversation about the, all the moves we've had, I don't know if you've been in here the whole time. The statement was made that you did not wanna leave this building, you like this building?
Oh, no, I mean, I can be pretty flexible. In fact,
Okay.
I initially had inquired about moving to the CICS space over there anyways,
Okay.
but, I'm not really tied into anything. I mean, I could go, our office could go anywhere as far as that goes. It
Okay.
just has to have the right configuration of space for.
You
kind of
used to
right
be in our office, would that be just you to go back to ours?
That I don't know. I'd have to see it and see.
Well, the vault's gone, so he
Yeah,
wouldn't be
you've got
having
the
more
vault.
privacy than what he has now.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Well, if he needed to meet with someone, he could always do it in the conference room though.
Yeah, I mean, for right now, you know, if I have like, webinars or Zoom meetings, I have to go somewhere else to
Okay.
do that. I mean,
Good
I
point.
can't.
I go in that vault, is that where you go? I go in Ryan's vault.
just something I wanna be mindful of, and, you know, and to make sure, I mean, that's a need that I feel that every department head should have a walled office if they're managing people. For privacy reasons, reasons. Obviously, you know, there's other accommodations he's been making to try to find it, but while we're talking through all this stuff, I just wanna make sure that wasn't lost, as maybe some future changes we can make to help him.
If you're gonna look at it from a global
Good to know.
standpoint.
Well, that's what I'm trying to think
Thanks
of
for
the
sharing.
global standpoint
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
Okay, alright. Okay. Alright, well then, that leaves us to, if there's no further discussion on the budget, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please vote aye. Aye. Aye, all opposed, motion carries, we are adjourned.